welcome to Grapes with CEOs. I'm your host, Patrick Wood, and we have the great pleasure today of having Claude Lemasson, CEO of Eastmain Resources, joining us. Claude, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I guess we'll go straight into the wine you graced us with today. This is a Chateau Pipot, a Saint-Emilion Grand Cru 2015. Is that correct? A Bordeaux?
That's correct, a Bordeaux.
Excellent,
yes. Yeah.
Excellent. We just opened this wine and we've had it breathe for a little bit, and I'll tell you, the aromas and the flavor notes coming off of this are phenomenal.
No, absolutely. It's a lovely wine. I brought a Bordeaux because I thought that it'd be something interesting for the wine enthusiasts that are watching your show to understand that you can get Bordeaux at reasonable prices, some really excellent ones, and we'll talk about a bit of the background. But the other reason I brought a Bordeaux is because Bordeaux is a little unique to me. I'm actually French born. And I was actually born in the region of Bordeaux in a small village called La Traîne. It's actually just on the east side of the Garonne River, across from Bordeaux. And so to me, obviously, I've developed a liking for Bordeaux, although I do drink all sorts of wines from everywhere in the world. Yeah. I actually enjoy Canadian wines, American, Californians, South American, Australian. So I do like wines in general, but Bordeaux a bit close to my heart.
Yeah, of course.
And the region of Bordeaux, what's unique about it, and I've traveled there, obviously, as I believe you have as well. And it's a beautiful region. A lot of people have never been there. If they go to France, they'll go to Paris, or they'll go to the south of France. But Bordeaux is a little unique. It's got a lot of history. So the city of Bordeaux itself is a very historical city. It's a great place. But also, other than the wine regions, which are obviously world-renowned and pretty amazing, there's also beautiful areas. There's beaches that are amazing on the Atlantic. There's to the west, southwest of Bordeaux, there's Arcachon, a beautiful little fishing town, and the Bassin d'Arcachon. And just to the south of the city of Arcachon is the Dunes du Pilat. They're dunes, sand dunes that literally elevate fairly high, and then they fall into the ocean.
Fantastic.
Beautiful setting.
Yes,
so we're talking about a variety of environments where people can actually go to the region and vacation and see many different things in a week or 2 weeks, and it makes to me makes the region very unique.
Of course.
But back to the wine. In Bordeaux, Bordeaux is very well known for the left bank wines. So the left bank wines are the region of the Médoc, okay?
Yeah.
So the famous Chateau Latour, Chateau Lafite, and on and on.
Yeah, the go-tos for everybody when they think about the region.
When you think of Bordeaux, very, very often you think of a Médoc, which is a heavy on the Cabernet Sauvignon grape.
Right.
And they're also typically more pricey, more in focus.
Yeah, because a lot of people will stay away from Bordeaux just because
they're too
the
expensive.
Yeah.
But then there's the right bank wines, and the right bank of the Gironde River, which flows into the Atlantic Ocean. There's two regions that are particularly interesting. Saint-Emilion is one of them, and the other one is Pomerol, right beside Saint-Emilion. They're side by side. And I brought a Saint-Emilion because, first of all, the village of Saint-Emilion is absolutely gorgeous. Just a trip to Bordeaux just to go to the village of Saint-Emilion, I think, is worth it by itself. But what's unique about Saint-Emilion as a wine region is that they produce wines that are heavier on the Merlot and Cabernet Franc grape. And because of that, they're a touch softer wines, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
They're still full-bodied, they're still very rich, but they're just easier. They're not as tannic, so less tannins compared to Cabernet Sauvignon. So it makes a wine that is probably a bit more fruity, okay, but still full-bodied and still very rich. So this is the wine that I brought, this Chateau Pipot. It's a very known wine, and I also wanted to bring a wine that I think your listeners can go buy at the store. So an LCBO, this is not a specialty imported wine.
Right.
It's available at the LCBO and everywhere else in Canada in general. And it's also a price point that's very, I consider, affordable for Bordeaux at around $40. I think this bottle, $41.
Yeah, so for our US viewers, that would be $20.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Or less.
Or less, yeah, exactly.
So, so it's a very affordable wine. It's a nice wine to have with a beautiful meal, and it's something that's accessible. So that's what I wanted to introduce.
Fantastic.
And this Chateau Pipot.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? We have to have a taste.
We should try.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Claude.
Cheers.
Wow. Very good. Very soft.
Yeah, exactly. Very soft. I would consider for Bordeaux easy drinking.
For a pairing, I mean, what would your pairing be on something like this? Favored.
For me, I would say one of two things. A beautiful, steak. Simply grilled steak. This would be perfect for that. The other one is I'm a lamb lover.
I was going to say lamb.
I love lamb.
This is just.
This would be either a beautiful steak or lamb, like a ribeye, or lamb would be ideal with this wine. It's the right wine to carry and to be paired with. When I first enjoy the aroma, it's, to me, I'm getting some, a bit of chocolate in there. I'm getting a bit of cherry, maybe.
You definitely get the cherry.
But you get a light floral in the background too, and I find that interesting. So it ends up being a wine that actually has a bit of fruit in it, probably more fruit than the Médoc wines, but yet it still holds very strongly. And I know for 2015, ideal time is probably around this time. 4 to 5 years is very good. Now they do hold well in the cellar. You can cellar them for a long time, but right now 2019, this is perfect for us.
Excellent. This is just full, perfect. I think you nailed it with the timing for sure.
Yeah, it's and also
that's great.
Also the right temperature is very important.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, too many,
room temperature is definitely not acceptable.
Too many people take the bottle off their counter and serve it, but ideally, even if it's on the counter and if it's not cellared properly for any reason, take it out, put it in the fridge just for a little bit ahead of serving it, so you just bring that temperature down to an ideal, talking about probably a 16, 17 degree range.
That's right.
Is really better.
It's ideal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, look, this is fantastic. While I drink this with you and we share it, let's talk a little bit about Eastmain. And Eastmain Resources is your company. I guess, we don't hear a lot about resources companies today. The headlines seem to be dominated by LPs and cannabis primarily, and more LPs and cannabis. And as we know, that sector and that space itself is going through an evolution of sorts. And that means that investor money will be flowing out of those places and looking for other great investment opportunities. And the resources and the mining space has been really beaten up, so to speak, or perhaps not even beaten up, just completely ignored by investors over the last few years. So I'd love to hear more about Eastmain and what makes the project great, because from everything that we've seen, you guys are trading at a significant kind of discount to where you should be trading, and I think the opportunity for the smart investors is definitely there. So
I totally agree with you on the industry. Certainly, we've been out of favor in general, resources in general, mining, gold mining especially. Probably for the last, I want to say 6-7 years.
Yeah. And yet the price is held in there okay.
Yeah. So it's, for us, it's been, and the last 2 years have been extremely tough, even tougher than the years before that. 2017, 2018, investors were moving to other trendy investments. As you mentioned, cannabis is kind of the latest. And that's evolving. There was cryptocurrencies before that. That's evolving as well. But also battery metals. So it took away the focus from gold into some more trendy battery metals,
sure,
like
the lithium and the vanadiums and all those
cobalt,
things.
And even nickel now. But we are definitely seeing a turnaround in the trend and an interest starting back towards gold equities. And I think we're going to see some really interesting developments in gold equity investments in 2019, which is great for us because we've been working very hard. I took over the company about 3 years ago. We've got great projects in James Bay, northern Quebec. So all our projects are there. We've got 3 projects that we're advancing. We've created incredible value. But that value is not realized in the market. As you mentioned, we're really undervalued significantly. But the value, as far as the basis of the valuation of the company, is there. Meaning we have resources in the ground, we have ounces in the ground. These are real things. They're not going away. So what we've been doing for the last 3 years is we took our anchor project called Eau Claire. And Eau Claire is on this property called Clearwater. And Eau Claire needed more drilling. We did a whole bunch of more drilling. And then we issued a PEA, a preliminary economic assessment, on Eau Claire last May, in May 2018. Came out very robust, very realistic, solid.
And so the PEA shows what the economics around this resource
absolutely.
are, right?
So just to give you some very high level numbers, but this is all after tax numbers. So after tax, net present value 260 million is what the project is worth. The IRR, so the return on investment, 27%. Payback is 3 years. It's a 12-year mine life. It's got 1 million ounces mineable. Okay, so all of these things are there. They're real. That's not changing. So we're continuing to advance Eau Claire through some permitting, technical studies, and those kind of things, to get to eventually to development decision, construction, and production. So that's continuing to advance. That's our anchor project. But we've got 2 other very interesting projects that we're also advancing right now, which have been our focus lately. And they're 2 discoveries that we have made in the last 2 years. So this is significant because these didn't exist at all. These are virgin discoveries.
And not a lot of people have made, not a lot of people are exploring in this environment.
Correct. So we've been exploring. We've made 2 discoveries on 2 separate properties. So the first discovery is near the Eau Claire project, on the same property on Clearwater, but about 14 kilometers away. It's called Percival. It's a brand new discovery from the month of November when we came out with the first results. We announced the discovery. We've drilled 11 holes up to now that were all released publicly. Okay, really, really good start.
And the results were fabulous.
Yeah, exactly. Great results. And then from there, we're currently doing a winter program, which is 20 more holes, 5,500 meters. We're on hole number 4 right now, drilling out of that program. Results to come starting in March, and then March, April, May. Terrific. So very exciting on Percival as far as potentially a game changer for the company. And this is on top of our anchor project. Then the other project, the other discovery that we're moving forward is called the Éléonore South joint venture. Okay. It's a joint venture with Goldcorp and a company called Azimuth. We're the operator on it. We announced the discovery in October 2017 on this property, and we've been moving that forward. More drilling, more trenching, more stripping, trying to eventually get to a resource. So that's advancing well. All the partners are in and participating. Good collaboration with the partners.
Yeah.
And that's another discovery that's growing, and it's near the Éléonore mine. The Éléonore mine is one of the key mines of Goldcorp.
It's a gigantic.
Yeah, 350,000 to 400,000 ounces a year.
Wow.
And we are only about 15 kilometers away in a straight line to this discovery from the mine. So this is exciting, and Goldcorp is our partner on it. So
terrific.
So very good situation for us. We've got a district play is really the way we look at it. We specialize in James Bay, and we've got other properties as well, but already my hands are full with three great projects.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
So we're just moving those forward, and very excited. Very excited about the potential.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So, I mean, I guess, some of your, challenges have been, certainly around the fact that investors have been ignoring, these kinds of opportunities. Yeah. What do you think, as a go forward, some of the things that you guys will be doing that distinguish you from the other opportunities are out there? I mean, is there something about your projects in particular that people should be looking at? And is there a play here at some point that, a big guy will come in and kind of take you guys out? Is that the kind of strategy you guys are thinking, or is it just kind of an open book at this stage that you'll see where the market goes?
It's a little bit of both, really. We approach this on creating value for the shareholders, number one. So we're doing that internally. It will be realized in the market eventually. But obviously, you always have the choice to grow the projects that you have and advance them, or make some strategic moves. So we're always looking at both. In a tough market, strategic moves are more difficult because of your valuations and valuations of others compared to you. So it's all relative. But what's interesting is that there's certain things that are unique to us. First of all, our projects are all in the same regions, but they're three distinct projects. And that's not too many companies have that as far as being a junior exploration company. So three projects at different stages with resources in the ground. And then from that point of view, all our projects are gold projects, specifically gold.
And I've noticed that a lot of other types of companies in the space, they'll have like a copper project, a gold project,
nickel,
and a silver or something like
exactly.
that.
So we're gold, but not only gold, but we're high grade gold. All our projects, the resources average between 6 and 8 grams. So we're high grade.
So that means it's easy to take it out of the ground. It's just more economic to take it out of the ground.
Exactly, more profitable potentially.
Got it.
So high grade gold in James Bay, that's the other advantage that we have compared to is the jurisdiction. First of all, being in Canada is an advantage. Being in Quebec, a greater advantage. Being in James Bay is even a greater advantage. So it's the best of the best of the best.
Lots of incentives there too.
Exactly. And we've got an infrastructure, largely untapped resource sector in James Bay, but tons of infrastructure. So we have road access to our properties. We have power nearby. Quebec power, cheap Quebec power, and the incentives that you mentioned, the government tends to get involved, and the big funds in Quebec tend to get involved in Quebec projects that are successful and companies that are successful with Quebec projects. And we're seeing that. Some of our large investors are already Quebec funds and Quebec companies. So from that perspective, we have that advantage of being in the right jurisdiction as well. So high grade gold in a great jurisdiction with great infrastructure, that's really our advantage.
It's a perfect package. Perfect package. So thanks for sharing that. I mean, this sounds like a great opportunity. I guess just a little bit about you and your background, though. Where did you come from? You said that you came into Eastmain about 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's correct.
Were you always wearing the geologist hat, or?
No, I'm actually not a geologist. I'm an engineer.
Wow. Okay.
I'm actually an engineer.
There you go.
I've been 30 years in the mining business. I came through being a mine builder. So construction engineer, construction manager, became project manager, eventually went into operations for a while as an executive, came back into projects. I've been involved with some fairly well-known world-class gold deposits. So most of my career has been gold. I was involved with the Twin Creeks mine in Nevada, northern Nevada, which is a Newmont mine, a large one of their
monster.
That's monster.
Like, yeah.
So I was involved with the development of that asset in the late 90s. I was the project manager that built the Red Lake mine for Goldcorp back in 99-2000.
Wow.
And right after that, I worked for Rob McEwen and actually was the mine general manager at Red Lake for 6 years.
Wow.
In 2006, I was promoted to Toronto with Goldcorp. Spent 3 years looking after the Éléonore project, the same mine I just referred to, that we're partners with.
Wow.
Well, I was actually the original manager looking after that asset when we bought it from Virginia Gold in Quebec. So for 3 years. And then I became president and COO of Guyana Goldfields in the early days of the Aura project and moved that project for 3 years. I'm also director of Premier Gold. So Premier, as a Canadian company, Ontario company, went from a junior explorer to being a producer now with assets in Ontario and Nevada and Mexico. So I've been a director of that company for 6.5 years now. And saw that evolution. So that's my background. As you can see, mostly gold, a lot of successful projects, and that's what I want to do with Eastmain, is do the same thing and make it a successful company.
Yeah. And after this, what are your plans after this?
Retirement? No, I don't.
Well, what do you like to do for fun? What do you do for fun? What's your hobby?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love photography. So I've taken up photography in the last few years more and more.
Landscapes, people.
A bit of all.
A combo.
I love fauna, flora, people, landscapes, a bit of everything.
Excellent.
So photography is one thing that I do. I also ride motorcycles. So I've got a.
What do you have?
I've got a 2003 100th anniversary Fat Boy. Okay, Harley Davidson, and a custom chopper as well.
Oh my gosh!
So
who made your chopper for you?
So it was a company out of Minneapolis called Minneapolis Custom Cycles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've got those two. So there's a bit of that, but what takes most of my time now is my 2 young kids.
Okay.
So I've got 2 beautiful young kids.
They tend to do that.
5 and 4 years old. I started later in life. And just raising them and enjoying time with them is really my biggest passion.
Well, it's never too late to start.
No, that's right.
And it's never too late at this stage to start looking at Eastmain Resources.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
You guys are having a great time.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think we'll stop here. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Let's drink a bit more of this wine.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Cheers.